This story begins about a year ago when I was visiting Rutgers University, and the folks there invited me to sit in on the Lean seminar, which is a formalizing mathematics, and they were particularly interested in getting the first few books of Euclid completely formalized. You could machine verify all the theorems and so on. And I went to the seminar, and I kept hearing them talking about, and then we got to look at Joyce. Let's look at Joyce. Let's look at Joyce. So I said, what is this like looking at Joyce? What do we keep talking about? And I said, Joyce has got the entire books of Euclid online. This is in fact the same Joyce, David Joyce, who identified that quandles are a complete invariant for knots and gave the name quandle. So it really is that same Joyce, if you know who that is, which was kind of a stunner. And so I said, I got to look at this. So I went to the proof of, I said, well, what's so great about Joyce's Euclid? Well, it's the interactive diagrams. They're amazing. You got to try the interactive diagrams. So I went to here's the proof of the Pythagorean theorem. And I said, hey, I can do so. Oh, wow, I can pull a little thumbnail out. That's great interaction. And they said, no, it doesn't work anymore. I said, well, what do you mean it doesn't work? Well, I don't know, it doesn't work anymore, but it used to be great, and we love it. So it's like, okay, I got to try to figure this out. And so I look, and I'm just pulling around, and nothing's happened. And so I know this is a time when, you know when you're beat, and so you know it's a time when you have to call on your colleagues. And so I'm really happy to say that the colleague that I reached out for this was able to come. He has put in a brief appearance today, and with apologies to Colin Adams, I'd like you all to welcome Homology James. He's down here excavating somewhere. Come on, Homology, you got to come on up here. Hi, guys. I'm really glad to be here. Now, when Glen showed me this, I knew this was going to be a tough nut to crack. But fortunately, I remembered the words of one of my mentors. I just called him Luke. He often would say to me, use the source, James. So I went to the page source, and I saw that dreaded word, applet. I knew that meant there was Java, or as my esteemed co-digital archaeologist colleague Scott Vorthman would say, the dead language of the internet. I knew this was going to be tough, but I scrolled down and I saw, aha, there it is. There's the entire construction. Every step in the construction laid out in the parameters to the Java applet. I said, this is good. I know that my friend Glen could send these as instructions to a modern geometry program, so I'll just tell him to do that. So I did, and he came back, and I said, kid, you got to do this. I call him kid, even though he's hardly younger than I am. So he comes back and says, Hom. He calls me Hom, even though he knows homology was the name of the iguana. Anyhow, he says to me, there's no instructions, and there's nothing. So we went back, we looked at the code together, and we saw this side here, and this is erasing its own code. We thought, that devilish Joyce, he's erasing his own code. But fortunately, even though it's not possible to prevent this code erasure, you can actually get your browser extension to take a snapshot before it goes away and find all those instructions. And I told him about that, and so then he was able to go ahead and create this browser plugin. And now, lo and behold, now we can move everything. We can see what happens if this is, and there you go. It's all working again. Every single one is working in. I know because he's checked each one personally. And that means that you can, for example, even see this proof that there's always a polyhedron between any two spheres. Now, I was looking at this, and I said, there's a polyhedron implicit in there. It's one that's got a whole rows of trapezoids around a sphere. I think I've seen that somewhere else. I think that's another one of the lost digital treasures of the web. And sure enough, I searched around, and I found it. But then I thought, oh no, this is only a picture. It's doing that stupid drag the thumbnail again. How can I find the real polyhedron? But then I said, okay, I'll just press right there. Oh no, it can't connect to the server. Well, not on the, but it doesn't matter. If you just press, a file pops up. That file is in the ancient Vermal language. I knew ancient Vermal was going to be a problem. But I searched around, and I found one place where ancient Vermal is still spoken. It's in the land of wings 3D. Dragons. I hate dragons. So I got past the dragons, and I found out that the translators only speak Erlang. But fortunately, there's a few people left in the Erlang ritual. And so, again, I was able to pass that information on to Glen and produce, he was allowed to invoke the eye of ancient Vermal. And now we click on the eye. This is the page that is also the Conway notation generator. Oh, sorry, homology's gone, sorry. This is the page that is also the Conway notation generator. Who has a favorite Conway notation? Okay, you don't have a favorite Conway, we'll do EPTI, whatever. EPTI, great. And, oh, wait, oh, it says don't press enter right there. Okay, EPTI, generate. And there it is, there's EPTI. Now, while I was here, I couldn't resist putting in a few bells and whistles. You may know that some of the Conway operators you can say, oh, which faces should apply by giving the number of edges of the faces. And so, for example, if you wanted to put just pyramids on the degree 4 faces, the squares of a pyramid, a triangular pyramid, there it is. You could do that. But I've extended it to other operators, such as the G operator. So if you want to only gyro those faces, you can do that. And now, so there it is. We've only gyroed the four-sided faces. But G4, where have I seen that before? Let's try, G4G15, and now it needs to operate on something with 15 sides, so how about a prism of 15 prism? Let's generate that, and there you go. I would like to nominate this as the official polyhedron of the conference. And I just want to close, I know I'm over time, I just want to close by saying that all that stories aside, this is dedicated as a tribute to the incredible work of George Hart. This is George Hart's Polyhedron Encyclopedia. And I do this just in honor of the incredible work he's done and for everything that I learned in the opportunities that I had to have interactions with him, the most important of which was always keep trying to be a better person no matter how bad or terrible the mistakes you've made is. Thanks so much.